What's up, guys? It is June 17th. I'm actually sitting here waiting on a train. I'm headed to my local WMA where I put out 6 cameras last week with vanilla extract. Supposed to meet up later with Andrew. He actually put out a couple of cameras too. We're just gonna try to see if we're in a core area or not for some of these bucks. All right, so I'm heading down to our first camera location that we put out the other day. It's not too far off the road. It's only about, I don't know, 50 yards off the road. So as you can see, there's a really nice thicket right there. I have this really beat down trail right here. It goes down through there. There's a nice bedding area or bedding ridge or point right over there. And this kind of connects the two. Put a camera up right here. Right here is our little scent, which is right on the trail. This trail right here either looks like it may have been old or it may have been some other type of animal. I'm really not sure, just because of the location and how it was going through some of this brush. The only picture of an animal that I have on here is this armadillo. That was it. This area was dud, so this camera is going to be pulled and we're going to go check some of the other ones. All right, I'm here at the second location. This area right here really stood out to me last year because this is an area that I found early season rubs at. So I put a camera up here. It's got good water, good cover, and I could see them using this area as a travel corridor too. Also found some beds just right off the road here, so I can imagine a pretty decent amount of nighttime bedding and activity. So probably mostly does if I had to guess, but we're about to find out. So right down there is the water. You have a transition line right here, and then back up here it's more open. I'll put my camera right here, and right here is where we put the vanilla scent. As you can see on that tree right there, there's a decent sized rub, and this area had quite a few rubs in here. You can see another one right there. Well, this is proven a lot harder than I thought. This camera did not have any deer on it. No animals, no armadillo, no nothing. I would like to add though that you can clearly see a track there, a track there, a track there, and a track there. And this was some kind of scrape that Andrew had dug out right here. But he didn't know that I was going to point the camera in that direction. So the camera was actually on that tree pointing that direction. But yet we have tracks in the fake scrape. So I'm starting to think that putting up the pre-orbital scent, I think we might get some more action. Clearly, they don't seem to be interested in the vanilla so far, but I will add that right now I'm starting with the worst locations, and I'm eventually going to move to the better locations. All right, so this location right here, found a big early season rub on this mimosa tree, and it was just shredded. This was about the first or second week of bow season, and just to give you guys a little idea, our deer usually start shedding velvet at the end of September, towards the 1st of October. And so I put this one right over here. So here was my vanilla right here. And here's my Browning trail camera. Now this area right here, I have two different drainages that come up to this area right here. Feeds over to another drainage that leads up where that rub was. All right, so right now where we stand is 3 cameras in pines, 0 deer total. I really have a feeling that these deer are going to be in the hardwoods. There are no deer in the pines right now, and that could be several different things. One, with these bucks especially, they have the velvet on and they really don't want to be going through this, you know, semi-thick stuff. Thick, semi-thick, however you want to look at it. We were glassing last year. They were really in wide open areas. So I'm thinking that may be the case. I don't know. I have a few more cameras to check that are in pines. Last week we filmed a huge set of tracks near one of the areas where we put one of the cams in pines. It was kind of on a transition. So I'm gonna go check that one next. But so far we have 0 deer in pines. So here's the camera, and it was pointing just in this little opening right here. So here's the location. There's your steep drop. I have trails coming off the top here where bedding is during the winter time. I have multiple creeks dumping into each other right over there. They swing around this one point and back over to several more bedding locations. I've seen several bucks over here during the winter time, and this looks like it'd be a really good funnel. So nice little saddle. So hopefully this scent pulled some deer into this area. Here's my camera right here, and right there is the vanilla. So here's my first buck right here, and he evidently come off the top of the hill over here, so he was probably fairly close if I had to guess. Second buck, you can see him down there, and honestly he looks like he's bedded down right here. So I just found a hair, and this is where the deer was bedded. The camera probably needs to be angled down just a little bit more, but this is where he was bedded at, kind of overlooking this area right here. I'm also going to backtrack it with the weather and see just when the deer was using that specific bed. So this is where I assume that some of the bedding is going to be. It's a lot more open. To me, it's cooler. It's not as hot. This is the location where I feel like I'm going to get more daytime photos or videos of deer. So much cooler than those locations up top. It's also a natural funnel, funneling all of these deer down into this one location. So, update. Not a single deer at this location. I really thought that this would be a good location. I'm gonna have to sit and think about some of these locations and why the deer are actually where they are. And it may go back to what Josh Driver was saying. I was thinking about that on the way over here. Basically, what we have here, why I set it up here, is because I thought that this area would funnel deer, which is what Josh said you don't want to set your cameras up on. So the pictures I've gotten so far have been on bedding, and they've also been on food. So 2 out of the 6 cameras that I put up last week, that me and Andrew came in and put up, only 2 cameras had bucks on them. I think I'm going to just try to cut tracks from here on out, and that way I'm not wasting a lot of time and effort, because 2 cameras out of 6, that's low odds right there, and that was up for a week. So I think it would be really beneficial to cut the tracks, then to place the cameras in those areas, since we really don't have a lot of options as far as glassing. We're hunting mostly big woods. There are some areas that are more open in comparison down at this WMA, but especially if you're in big wood settings and you have dirt roads or mud, sand, anything like that, I think it would be a really good idea to go and look for tracks first and then place your cameras in those areas instead of blindly just placing them, you know, in random spots. I think that's something I've learned just from this past week putting up these cameras. So I'm kind of excited to get back and look at the timestamps and compare it with the weather and see what was going on for the day, and kind of talk with Jacob and Andrew and discuss, you know, what we've kind of found. So hopefully you guys learned something. I know I have, so hopefully this will be a learning process for all of us.